Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first, and this is a tricky rack. I have too many R's and I have no scoring tiles. I could play liner and keep double R, but that's only 12 points and it wrecks the rack. So I certainly want to play off 2 R's, and I think I'm going to change. So I'll keep REIN and see what comes up. Well, not great, I don't have a bingo, but I do have a scoring tile in the J. And Gin and Jeer are both good. But I'd like to split up the duplicate I. I'm not too worried about the duplicate E. If my opponent plays a U, I will have injure. But I don't think there are any floaters which would give me an 8-letter bingo, and I certainly don't have a 7. Through an N, I would have Ginny, keeping double E R. The problem with playing just JIN is that I'm keeping a vowel-heavy rack leave double E I R, which could get worse with a bad pick. Onto a G, I would have rejig. If my opponent changes, I probably will play Gin JIN for 20 points. Well, he's taking a while over his move. He could be close to a bingo. What other floaters would be helpful? Okay, I can now see what I'm dealing with. Kamas for 32. I've got Jerkin, but that doesn't hit a double word square. Now I can play Gin in row G, getting the J doubled. So let me see what this scores. $38 points, that's pretty good. Can I do better than that? Well, I can get close to it if I played in column 4 and could reach a double word square. But I don't think I can do that and play the J. Injera is good, which I could play in column 5, but that's not going to beat Gin for score. Yeah, so I'll go with this. Great, I draw a blank. I've got Newsia and Wieners, spelt EI and IE. All of those play in column 10 at the moment because Gin takes an S. Do I have a double-double in column 5 through the first A of Karmas? This looks a promising set of tiles. The W is the only non-bingo-y tile that I have. Well, that column, that double-double has been severely restricted by Emo. Now, column 10 is still available for my Newsia plays. And Newsia is pretty good because the W gets tripled and I'm also getting the score for Gin. So although Newsia itself isn't doubled or tripled, it's going to score quite well. Let me put this down and then consider if there are better options I need to consider. So, 79 points. I probably would score more than that if I had a bingo through the K. Let me quickly put this back and consider this rack in my mind with the blank as a K. K and W don't feature in a lot of bingos, but I'm only looking for one. Well, I can't see anything. Now, what about row J? So close to playing Newsia and making Mew and Jams, but ISO would also need an S after it. So row J's not available. So is there anything through the K? Well, there may be, but I'm not going to spend any longer looking for it. And this is going to open the board up quite a bit. And that's a pretty good pickup. No duplicate tiles. I'm close to a bingo. Through a D I would have unrifled and urn field. There may be a 7 here. I haven't seen it yet. Flunkier is not good. I think it's just flunkies. So I don't think there's a bingo through the K. And the only floaters in Newsia that are available are the N and the E, which duplicate tiles on my rack. So I don't think I do have a bingo, but I do have a scoring tile in the F. And I'll be looking to play off the U as well. Through an A, I would have Fraulein, but Emo is stopping me using the A of Karmas. My opponent provides no new floaters. Now, I'm immediately drawn to the first E of Newsia for placing my F next to. But how can I play the U as well? And do I have a double-double in row E? That E is well placed for plays ending ER and IER. I would need 2 N's for funnier, although I could play that in row D, doubling the F. 28 points for funnier. I've got a 23-point lead, which is not very big. Now, do I have a play in row H, beginning with the I of Newsia, a play beginning INF? In furl, I don't think is good. Well, this is a tricky rack. The board is not particularly open. If I play funnier, it's going to be wide open. I can't see a double-double in row E, but there may be one. If I play funnier, I'm keeping just an L, which is poor. But I can't see another way of playing off the F and the U. Well, the main problem with this move is not opening the board up, because the board belongs to both of us. It is the poorness of the rack leave compared to if I played just UFL somewhere and kept EINR. Anyway, the score is okay. Well, 6 random tiles, and amongst them 3 I's, so this isn't great. India is good, so I should be able to resolve this rack. I've got an A for going in front of thou in column 3. Inlaid is also good. Through a C, I would have indicial, which is a bingo. No C's available. I've got inlaid in row H, but through the eye of Newsia, but that's keeping 2 I's, and my strong preference is for playing off 2 of my I's. So at the moment I've got India in row E, making FA. 17 points. Not a lot, but it is sorting the rack out. I've got a 50-point lead, which will evaporate if my opponent bingos. I've got an L for going after mu in row K. So, well, I could play Iliad. That's quite nice. Keeping IN, that is better than India. 25 points. Great, I've got choices. Still 59 tiles left, and I've used up over 7 minutes, so I need to keep an eye on the time. Do I have a third play which uses 2 I's? Well, I'm wondering if I have anything beginning with the V of thou. Great. Only 36 points is quite good for my opponent, but my preferred play remains available. Let me just pause in case my opponent's provided a bingo. He hasn't provided a C for indicial. Do I have anything through the B? No. Okay, well, Iliad's my play. And the rack leave is fine for a 2-letter rack leave. Iliad 25. Great, I have caution and auction. Not sure of either of those plays. Well, auction plays in row L, making dar. I have butanoic in row A. Great, I'm bingoing. Butanoic certainly going to score more than auction. And I can't see anywhere for caution. Well, I do have caution in column 3, making a thou. So I have an abundance of bingos, if 3 is an abundance. Fantastic. My opponent does not have a great rack. He's played off 5 tiles, so although he may have a bingo on his rack, he's less likely than if he had played off a smaller number of tiles. Butanoic, 89 points. That's a big score. And that's okay as a pickup. I haven't drawn a bingo, but the chances were that I wouldn't. Well, not a bingo that I can immediately see, but it's a balanced rack. The only duplicate tile is an O, and I've got a scoring tile in the H. And there are quite a lot of spots on this board, scoring spots, so I could play hood in row B underneath butanoic. What else do I have? I've got doll, DHOL, that plays in row C above funnier. I've got a hold in column 8, beginning with the A of Iliad. I think that's going to score the most of the options I've considered so far. 39 points, that's a big score. Ratcliffe not fabulous with AOT, slightly vowel heavy. This board is quite open. There are bingo lanes all over the board, and in particular row E is available for bingos, 7-letter bingos ending in S. So I don't need to worry about opening the board up more. I do need to be sure that I'm not missing a bingo with this rack. There's the R of funnier to consider. Can't see anything through that, and I can't see anything through an E. So at the moment, a hold in column 8 is my preference. And I'm not sure I've got a second choice. Well, doll in row C, DHOL uses the same tiles. And that's going to be 30 plus. I may have a play in row L, beginning with the H under the A of Iliad. And if I've got a 5-letter play, that could score well. So such a play could begin HA or HO. Can't see such a play. But if it exists, it's going to score about the same as a hold. Now, my opponent has now used up more time than me. 39 tiles in the bag, or 39 unseen. He's taken my a hold spot. He's provided, well, not great floaters for me. The only consonant is the R, which already exists in funnier. So, can't see anything with the A or the I. So this is what I was considering, and this is quite good. It takes out some floaters. Scores well, doesn't provide anything new for my opponent to take advantage of. I'm just pausing in case there's something better in the same spot. Nope, not that I can see. I do have cat hood in row L through the C of Akari. Well, only 29 points, so not as good as doll. And there is the second blank. Fantastic. And this is a great rack. On an open board, I surely have a bingo. I've got Leotard and Delator with the blank as an E. Can't see anywhere for those to play. Column 2 is available for bingos ending with an O. Can't see anything there. I've got Idolater in row O, beginning with the I of Akari. Idolator, yep, that works. Now my lead at the moment is about 90 points, so if my opponent doesn't bingo, then Idolater is going to give me a good lead. So what I now need is a second bingo. I I don't have anything with the blankers and... no. Ruffin does take an S, but I don't have a 7-letter bingo with the blank as an S. My opponent has not bingoed. He has provided some new floaters. So, do I have anything through the E of Ruffin? Surely I do. Let me run through the alphabet. So I'm imagining an E on my rack as well. Now I would have cartload through an A. I'm focusing on having an E on my rack, but if anything else pops into my mind, I will say it. Well, that looks like there may be something with another E. Haven't seen anything so far. That's my idolater and toroidal rack. Neither of those plays anywhere. I've got 9 minutes on my clock. Mortaled may be good. I would prefer to find a move that I'm 100% confident of. Portaled is good. Great. So, should I just go ahead and play this? Well, this is pretty good because it places the blank right here, where it's least helpful for my opponent. So, I think if there is a better move, it's not going to be vastly better. And I am mindful of the time. Portaled 68. Not a great pickup. 5 vowels. I do have a scoring tile in the B. And I do have U-Oi on my rack. E-U-O-I. Although I haven't seen anywhere for that. There are 3 S's left. So column 15 is pretty dangerous. I'm inclined to take that out if my opponent doesn't use it immediately. I've got Pyu in row H, but that's only for 6 points since the P is a blank. So, do I have anything in row O through the E of portaled? Well, I have E-Day, I-D-E-E. If my opponent has got an S but doesn't have a bingo, he may be in a difficult position because he may want to keep open column 15. Wow. Great bingo. Striated. That's good. All of those words are good. My opponent is now only 63 points behind me, which is about a bingo. There are 2 S's out there. So I could play Uoi at A1. 18 points. But I just think this is more dangerous. I think a bingo in column 15, which pluralizes Ruffin, is going to score about 90 points. If I play E-Day here, my opponent could play a bingo in row E or column 2, but it's going to score much closer to 75 to 80. And that could be significant. And E-Day scores more points. So, is there a 5-letter play or a play using the U in this spot? 7 minutes left, 11 tiles in the bag. Nope, not that I can see. Horrible pickup. Now, I should have paid attention to the vowel situation. There are only 4 vowels left out of 15 tiles. So I may have been slightly reckless and playing off 3 vowels. Well, there goes the second bingo for my opponent. But look at the tiles that he's got left. He's got only one vowel, and he's got the Q. So, although he's 10 points behind, the remaining tiles are not good. But he's got the Z. And look at this spot here, right next to the A of Akari. But I'm not sure he can take full advantage of that, given the tiles that are left. I think Res... Sorry, he can't play Res, it's an A. I can't see any play which enables him to double that up. So, what about the Q situation? The Q could be in the bag. If it's not, he could play QI in row O for not very much, so I'm not bothered about that. Well, this is now a very tricky situation. I'm 10 points ahead. I'm thinking about just going for score. Let me see what bonus scores. 29 points. This is going to put me 39 points ahead. This is a spot that my opponent can't use, though. So, what I could do as an alternative is... Pav across here. Now, my opponent's got the E for making pave, but he's not going to be able to reach the triple word square here by playing down using his E, whereas I can reach it with my S. So I've now set up 2 spots for bonus. I can play bonus down here or bonus across the top here. So I think this is a much better move. And I'm keeping the U in case the Q is the last in the bag. And it's not. In fact, it's an E. Wow, what a horror show of a rack my opponent is faced with right now. Fantastic. So, is bounds good? B-O-U-N-E-S. Well, I think it is. Or is it? I'm 26 points ahead. I'm probably not sure enough of bounds to play it. Now this is a pretty strong position. I've got bonus in 2 spots. My opponent is pretty stuffed. Huh, okay, well he's taken one of those spots and scored well, 36 points. He's now got a 10-point lead. Unboxes is good, but that doesn't play. And I've had the possibility of playing bounds with an E removed. So, I have bonus in row A, which is going to give me, well, was that 29 points? Yeah. So bonus will give me a 19-point lead. I've only got 1 tile left, so I can't score much with that. But my opponent's is going to be either stuck with the Q or the Z. So I think that should be enough. It would be nice to go out now, if I can. But foolish to play a phony. So do I have anything through the L of legatos? Not that I can see. Do I have anything through the E of payee? No. Do I have anything through the A or I of Akari? No. I'm not sure that there's anywhere else to consider. I'll just pause in case I'm setting up something good for my opponent that I don't want to. So if I play bonus here, what's my opponent going to do with his rack? Well, he's got Trez at L1. And I need to bear in mind that my opponent cannot play where I'm playing. So I could play bonus in column 2 alongside payee. Oh, very tricky. I've got just under 2.5 minutes left. Trez is not particularly dangerous. It's going to leave my opponent with a Q and a G. Bonus isn't providing anything new for my opponent, so it's really what's currently available for his Z or Q. There is nothing available for his Q at all, apart from QI in row O. So it's a matter of what he can score with his Z. So can he put his Z here? Have I overlooked something? Some play running across here. Well, Gaz, Raz, Taz, Graz and Traz are not good. I don't think I've missed something there. But if my opponent could play there, well, I don't think that would win him the game. Anyway, because of countback from the queue. So what about bonus in column 2? About 25 points. That's stopping him playing Trez. Well, he has Trez in any event in column 3 for slightly fewer points, so I think I will go with this. Well, we'll find out soon enough, but I think I may have missed an out in 1 with that rack. It was quite a nice rack. Now, I've got 57 seconds to find the best place for my E, so I'm methodically working my way down the board, line by line. I've got 4 at B1 and B2. 5 making sell in column 15. 8 for NE and double E. 9 for EX. 10 for pave. Okay, so 10 for pave. My opponent's got 6 minutes left to stew with his rack of GQRTZ. Wretched rack for my opponent, unless of course he finds something I've missed. But he's 19 points behind, and he's got the Q, which is a dead weight of 20 points if he doesn't play it. So he is surely not going to win. Yeah, Zag for 30, that gives my opponent an 11-point lead. But pave for 10 is going to be enough. And the final score, 440 to my opponent, 463 to me, a winning margin of 23 points. Very exciting game, a very close game. Let's see what I missed. So, it was me to go first. I changed. I could have played Nurl for 8, keeping duplicate R. Well, maybe that was slightly better than changing, but I don't think there was much in it. My opponent played Karmas. And I played Jin for 38, keeping EEIR. And I think that's the best of those 3 moves, which score about the same. Horrible rack for my opponent. I played Newsia for 79, and that looks best. Now, did I have a bingo here? No, I didn't. And there was an FLU play, flew at K5, arm of mule as well. Yep, that certainly would have been the play. What did I do? Funnier for 28. Yep, flew much better. 3 more points, but a significantly better rack leave. And having drawn 6 random tiles, I was faced with 3 eyes, and I did now spot the mule hook, and that looks best. And here I had a choice of bingos, and butanoic was best. Nice rack for my opponent. Did he bingo here? He didn't, but could he have done? No, Akari was best. And Doll for 31 looks best. This was the roughen play by my opponent, which I at first thought was a bingo, but wasn't. Cartload was playable. Ah, well, yes, beginning with the C of Akari. But I played Portal for 68. Yeah, Cartload would have been a good play because it would have obstructed my opponent's use of the Ruffin's hook. But after Cartload, I think Portal looks amongst the choice of second best moves. This was my opponent's rack, and a great spot by him of striated. Not easy to see. Boney at A1. Now this is where I played E-Day because I was concerned about the Ruffin's hook. And I'm happy with that choice. Well, or am I? Because this is the point where, if you look down the bottom, with 11 tiles in the bag, 7 on my opponent's rack, there are 18 unseen tiles and only 4 vowels. So I think E-Day was slightly burning too many vowels. But I think it's okay. My opponent came right back in it with legatos at E2. And here we're in the situation where there's 1 tile in the bag. It happens to be the E, but it could have been the Q. And pubs at D3. Well, yeah, keeping NOV. I like Pav because it gives me access to column 15, even though my opponent obstructed it on this occasion. I mean, the good thing about Pav isn't just that it gave me column 15, it's that it gave me a choice of 2 good plays. I had a guaranteed play of bonus in either in column 15 or row A, and that guarantee pretty much secured the game for me. This is the awful rack my opponent faced. What could he have done? Oh, wow. Gazy for 55. That would have been huge, M7. Well, that was the danger spot, which I didn't see anything through. If my opponent had got 55 points right now, that would have taken him to 429. He would have had a 29-point lead. He would have kept the X. I wouldn't have gone out. I still think my opponent would have lost, but probably by a smaller amount, and it would have certainly been alarming to see 55 points being chalked up by my opponent. In any event, he played picks. I did not have an out, and bonus looks best. My opponent at this point played the best move he could with Zag, and it wasn't enough because I got 10 for Pave and won the game. So, pretty exciting game, very close at the end. My opponent was slightly unfortunate to have such a horror show of a final rack or final few racks. and that was enough to give me the victory. But it was a wide open game, and I think a variety of situations were faced in this game, so it's a good illustrative game of Scrabble. I hope you enjoyed watching it and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.